welcome to my channel. My name is Toscha, and if you are new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I want to give you a little introduction to this video because it's going to be twofold. I'm going to be talking about my market in Freeport and doing a recap when I'm finished, but I'm also going to end the video with a sort of a summary of how everything's going in the Freeport Market store. So I'll be talking about my sales for July and August, what has sold, what my best sellers are, and how much money I've made. If that sounds interesting, then stay tuned and I will see you guys in a few minutes. Market day. We are just leaving the house. The husband has all the trailer and truck all packed up, and we're getting ready to head to Freeport. Time for a little check-in. I have a booth that's very close to me, so I'm going to talk a little quiet. But it's been, I would say, slow. It's 12:02, so the market's been going on. Sorry, my hair is like crazy. The market's been going on for 2 hours, and I have sold a few things. I can't say it's a total bust. I've sold $116. I sold one Baby Octo, which are these little things. I've had a lot of grandparents come in and buy for their grandchildren. Okay, so one Baby Octo, one Velvet Turtle, another grandmother, one Cheeky Turtle to a grandmother. I just sold a Princess Frog, the one with the hat, to a little girl, super sweet middle schooler. And I sold 2 keychains. And I sold another $18 turtle. I cannot remember the color, but I sold another turtle. And then a black and white kitten loaf cat and one small pumpkin. So it's not a total washout. I've made my booth fee, and this is until 4, so I have 4 more hours, and we're just gonna see what happens. I've met a lot of nice people. I've gotten some tips about local fairs that I can apply to, so it's not a total bust, but it's pretty slow. I have made a few plushies since I've been here. I made this candy, which is so cute. I'm adding it to my candy jar, but I don't have any price tags, so I'll just have to tell people how much it is. Keep getting bitten by ants. Wait, I think I just got bit again. This is by Quack House Crochet. She has adorable candy patterns. It's the same as the Tootsie pattern that I showed you before. And then I'm also working on an XL frog because I'm following the store, which is actually down the street, and I sold an XL frog today, so I went ahead and started making that. And I have a really funny story for you guys. So this little girl came in, she's probably 7th grade, 8th grade, and she said she had a crochet hook in her hand and some yarn, and she was like, oh, I crochet. And I said, oh, that's so cool that you crochet. And she was making a hat, and she said, I have a question for you. Did you design all these patterns? And I said, yeah, I did a couple of them. I have a Cecil the snake, I have a wombat and a marshmallow pattern, but that's it. And she said, so And I said, I purchased the patterns for the other things. She said, well, in my opinion, if you purchase the pattern from somebody and then you sell that item, you are stealing from that maker. Her parents were standing behind her when she said this and had no reaction. And I was like, that was awkward. Like, I said, well, actually, they do give you rights to sell the item in the like copyright page. They give you the rights to sell. And I said, and when people buy my Cecil the Snake pattern, I give them the rights to sell the pattern, not sell the pattern, sell the plushie. She did not agree with me. It was very awkward and it was really weird. Apparently, she only sells items that she designs, which is very cool. So yeah, that was my awkward moment of the day. So fun. This is a 1:45 check-in. I'm looking at myself and noticing how red my face is. I think it's because I'm literally right in the sun. But 1:45 check-in, I have sold a few things. It's still like a ghost town. I sold my large pickle. I don't know if I had said that before. And I also sold my only wombat that was left. I made 2 wombats as part of my own pattern, and I just sold the one that I had left. And then I also sold one of the Tootsie Rolls, the small one, and my only dachshund that has a sweater, only one I have left. And I think that's it. I'm up to like $200, I think, and we still have another 2 hours to go. But you can tell how slow it is because I'm getting crochet done. So I'm making Winnie the Whale Shark, and this pattern is by Pomps and Posies, and look at this yarn. Isn't that so pretty? This is, I think it's a new color by Bernat, and it's called Lagoon. It's similar to the Ocean Waves Blue that I used in my last video, but Lagoon, look how gorgeous. I can't wait to finish it. I think it's gonna be just gorgeous. This is a 220 check-in. I have sold an elephant plushie, which was awesome. And I also sold my rainbow whale, which is also awesome. I wanna make another one of those. And I sold a little bunny to a little girl. I think there was something else, but I can't remember right now. And I want to show you the progress on my little shark by Pomps and Posies. Look how cute this is. I just cannot get over this yarn. It's so beautiful. Like, perfect name, Lagoon. Guys, it's been a couple of days. It is Monday, and I have had a chance to recuperate from the market, but I want to just sit down with you guys and talk to you about what I sold, how the day went. I really didn't have any bestsellers. It was like a bunch of random items, but it wasn't a great day, but it was still a good day. I think it was worth it to go to the market, and so I just wanted to share with you what sold. The most important thing to me right now is that I'm selling my inventory because I have accumulated too much inventory. I know that's crazy. And I haven't really had an opportunity to go to very many markets. And so it's almost better if you have to like market prep, but I have so many items that you just don't want to keep that much inventory on hand because it just sits in containers and it gets all squished. And so when you take it out, it doesn't look like it did when you made it. Oops, sorry. So let's talk about what I sold. So I have all my information here. So I'm just going to go over that with you guys. Okay, in total, my sales were $360. And out of that amount, people paid with card $241.60, and they paid with cash $118.15. And the fees for Square were $7.27. And then for me to rent the space for the market in Freeport was $50. So in total, I made $302.48, which I call a win. I know it's not the best market I've ever had. I did expect it to be a little bit busier than that. The vendors around me told me that it was extremely slow compared to how it's been in past years. But let's talk about what sold. So the first thing that sold that was $6 were my keychains. And I sold 2 chickens. I actually just made these 2 chickens, and I'll try to put pictures up on the screen of the items that sold. Even though I just showed you like all my inventory on the table, I just still want to show you again what sold. So 2 chickens, a strawberry keychain, an avocado swinging character, and a cat swinging character. So in total, I sold 6 of the keychains. And then my Biddy Octos, I sold 1. I actually sold one that I made in Ireland. It was made out of worsted weight yarn. I think I made it out of t-shirt yarn. Was it t-shirt yarn? I'm pretty sure it was. It's a really cute white one that had different colored tentacles. I sold one cheeky turtle, and actually when she went to buy it, I said, oh, did you notice what's under his shell? And when I went to look under his shell, he did not have booty cheeks. For some reason, I had not finished that last step. And she said she was okay with it because she didn't necessarily want it to have booty cheeks. So, win-win. Okay, I also, so I have some little bunnies I made last year for a spring market. They're like round bunnies. I don't know if I'll be able to find a picture, but if you looked back at what I just showed you at the market, it was on the bottom shelf, a bunch of different colored bunnies. I sold one of those. And then my chubby bunnies, I sold the wombat, which is my own pattern. It's the only wombat that I had there, so I sold one of those. I was really happy about that. And then I also sold an $8 animal that was it was just like a little dinosaur. It was part of my free patterns on Instagram video, and I sold that. I also sold an elephant that was a plushie. Pretty sure I'll be able to find a picture of that. Super cute, one of my favorite ones that I've made. Also the large pickle that I just made, I sold that, and one small pickle. The strawberry frog, which I call princess frogs, but it's the strawberry frog. I sold the one that had the little hat. I also sold my one last dachshund that's left over with the pink sweater. Oh my gosh, this girl came in. It was a teenage girl and she loved it. I want to make more of those because they are really popular. Also the black and white loaf kitty, which I didn't turned out that great, but this person loved it. And then one tiny pumpkin, and that's the only thing I sold on my fall table was that tiny pumpkin. I sold one mochi and two $18 turtles. They were both velvet turtles. So in total, that was 17 sales, and I'm not 100% sure the actual items, but like I said, I made $302.48. This is my last market in Freeport. And I wish there was going to be one in October, but because LL Bean is doing a big renovation on the outside, I wasn't able to get a spot. So my next market will be in October. So that's a ways from now, but that's okay. I definitely have some things that I want to make to get like some larger groupings of items and not have like all these random items. So that's good. And I feel really good about the market. My husband ended up going and doing some work at the house while I was there, and it was fine because I didn't need his help at all. Sorry about that. Somebody kept calling me and would not stop calling, kept calling over and over again. Okay, so yeah, so now I want to talk to you a little bit about the store. So I thought because this video might be a little shorter, I thought I would couple it with how did it go at the store for like the last, for the months of July and August. And so I'm going to give you a rundown of that and let you know what sold and what my sales were, and what my takeaway was, and let's get into that. Before I talk to you guys about how I did in the store for the month of July and August, I forgot to show you this whale that I made. Oh my gosh, isn't this so pretty? This is the Lagoon yarn by Bernat. I'm getting ready to do a whole video on landscape yarn that I'm really excited about. It's going to take me a couple days to finish it, but I just love it. I will say that this pattern is tough. Like the color changes are no joke. I probably tore this whole thing apart 2 times and started over again because I thought I could just do it and not think about it too much. I even didn't use a stitch marker. No, that was a bad idea. I learned from my mistakes, did it again, and I just think he turned out so cute. He is, the only thing you have to sew on are the side fins and the top fin. The rest of it is you start here and you work your way back. But overall, I would say it's a pretty, simple pattern, except for the color changes. I got mixed up a little bit. He even has these little embroidered, gills on the side. But anyway, he turned out super cute. Okay, so I'm sorry if my presentation on the store inventory is a little messy. I wrote everything out and it's very confusing for me, but I will do my best. So if you're new here and you have never seen me talk about the store, I'm at a store in Freeport. I was in 2 stores for June, July, and August. One is called Maine, one is called Freeport Market. They both charged me $100 in rent plus 30% of my inventory, of my sales. Okay, before you freak out and tell me that I am paying too much money, Remember that there's nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I am trying this out. If it doesn't work and it's a total waste of my time and money, I will not do it. But I want to try it out. I want to see how it goes. I'm changing things up as I go along. I'm changing my inventory. I've changed my space there. I started out in 2 stores. After June and July and August, I told her starting September, I only wanted to be in the 1 store, which is Freeport Market, which almost all of my sales were there. I also increased my space there. So instead of having 3 shelves, I now have a full bookcase. So my items are more seen. I've already noticed in the month of September, my sales have increased quite a lot. If I sell more, the percentage is not that bad. My rent is not that bad. If I sell not that much, I make nothing practically. So I noticed in my sales in June, they were around $550. And then my sales in July were $503. Try to put pictures of the items on the screen. If I can't find a picture, then I'm sorry. If you've been watching my channel for a while, my store items have been pretty the same. So in the month of July, I sold 16 baby whales. They have continued to be a fan favorite, which is why I changed my inventory up for September and included more mini items. Chubby frogs, which you've probably seen me make those a million times, I sold 8. And then I sold 1 small bear, 2 woodland critters, which are the Mama Makes Yarn woodland critters. Those have not been very popular. I sold 3 small mallards, 7 small blueberries. That's definitely a second bestseller. 2 pickles. I have a pickle jar by the cash register and I sold 2. 1 moose, which is going to be a discontinued pattern. If you've been watching my channel, you know what I mean. Okay, I sold 1 medium mama whale. That was my first mama whale to sell, and it was actually sold, the owner of the store purchased it. So I haven't really sold too many of those. Okay, so that was my sales for July. So bestseller, baby whales, definitely. I ended up with only 2 at the end of the month. And then my second bestseller was chubby frogs. And then the third bestseller was small blueberries. So I will continue to include those for the month of August. And then August, my sales increased for baby whales. And I also my sales increased. I sold $786 worth of inventory, and only $150 of that was at the Maid store, and $636 of that was at the Freeport Market store, which is what encouraged me to move to just 1 store. Since I pay $100 in rent at both stores, that means that they first take off 30%. So 30% of $150 would be about $45, which means I made $5 off of $150, which is BS. So I quickly got out of that store. But anyway, for the month of August, I sold 25 baby whales, which is insane. I can't believe they're so easy to make. I can use scrap yarn. I sold 3 chubby frogs, 2 small bears, so that increased a little bit. Only 1 woodland critter. I haven't made any new ones though. 2 mallard ducks, 3 small blueberries, and this month I sold 3 medium blueberries. So I think currently I don't have any medium blueberries left, so I definitely want to stock that. My pickle sales increased. I sold 5 pickles, 3 moose, that also increased. And then I sold another large mama whale, which was great. I sold 1 extra large chubby frog, which I added that item. They're basically my chubby frogs made with XL yarn, and I charged $20 instead of $15. I sold 2 bitty octos. That was a new item. And I also sold 7 small chickens. I only included those last 3 items the last week of August. So I was pretty happy with those results, and that showed me that people really like the chickens. They really like the bitty octos. So moving into September, if you have been watching my channel, you already know what I added. So in the month of September, I added to my inventory, because now I have a full bookshelf. I have 6 shelves. I added 6 pickles, pumpkin frogs, which is a new item. I added 6 chickens, 10 small stingrays, which are a similar size to my baby whale, 6 zombies, 2 Frankensteins, 3 spiders, 3 pumpkin cats, 8 ghosts, 3 moose, and then I added 20 mini octos, and I also brought in 7 baby whales. So that's kind of how my inventory has changed. I'm probably going to weed out the woodland critters because they don't seem to be selling. If you look at my sales, I'm not really selling any of the crabs, which really surprises me because they're so cute. The medium and large crab are so cute. And I'm also not selling very many of the mama whales. So I don't know if it's because they're more expensive, like people come in, they only want to spend $5 or $10, but my sales for the month of September have already been really good. I sold $173 in the first week, and that included one of my lobsters. Strategy, not to make myself crazy, is that when I sell something, I just make that thing at home, and then I'm gonna bring all of it in at one point. So I made a medium lobster, and I just made this last night. I made it in like under an hour. It wasn't bad at all. And yeah, so I sold a medium lobster. I don't know if I sold a blue one or a red one, but I went ahead and just made a red one. And then I also have been making frogs, and I've been making stingrays. I've already sold like 3 of the stingrays, 6 of the mini octos. So things are going well in the store. I'm going to continue changing it up, changing my inventory, just trying to do it better and just kind of see. And if by Christmas I think, you know what, this is not worth it to me, then I just will pull out and not do it. But you guys, this is just a journey for me, and I'm just trying to figure it out. So yeah, if you guys have any store items that you know of that you sell in stores that do really well for you, please leave it in the comments down below. And that is the end of my market breakdown and my store recap. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me, and I appreciate your staying with me to the very end. I look forward to seeing where this store inventory takes me and my next coming markets, seeing how those go as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.